I'm going to ask something that might be a little like sensitive or might sound insensitive, I should say. Why didn't you file a police report when he raped you?
Because I was scared for my life.
When I first heard what Shannon Sharpe was accused of, first thing I thought is they're trying to just get him for money and this is a shakedown. But now that I found out that there's a second accuser, I don't know if Shannon Sharpe might have did what they said he did. We all know what's going on with Shannon Sharpe, man. $50 million lawsuit out there. Female was 19 when he met her. You know, he was 50-something years old. It's a wild situation. There is a new female that has popped up, and she is saying that the same pattern that she had with the other girl, he might have had with this woman as well.
It was the biggest argument that we ever got in. And he was controlling, he was domineering, he was manhandling me beforehand. We met in actually the press room at the Broncos, April of 2002. And, but we didn't start talking until we met up at a club at Blue 67 in Denver. I don't know if anyone is listening from Denver, but yeah, we were at a club at the same time. We didn't go together. We just happened to both be there. And so he started talking to me and started pursuing me pretty heavily from then on.
So her name is Michele Evans. A lot of y'all off of first view are probably like, I don't know about this. But if that's the case, then that means that you can't be sensitive to a victim. So we're not going to do that. She actually did show proof that they knew each other. You know, she's a reporter, so she was able to get behind the scenes and really link up with the players. So that's how he kind of saw her.
I resisted for a while because, you know, I was a reporter and I didn't want to mix the two. But he's very charming.
As far as what we know with charming with Shannon Sharpe, you know he be paying $25,000 a cheek. You know, he ain't afraid to spend a little bread and get a little freaky. We about to change his name from Uncle Shay Shay and all that to Shay Kelly. That's his new name. After what this woman admitted about a 2010 incident, Shay Shay might be going to jail.
He dated until the 2010 incident. And then it came to an abrupt end because I wanted, you know, we were arguing and he was threatening me and stuff like that after, but I didn't see him again after he raped me.
What led up to that fight, that 2010 fight that you guys, I know that the argument ensued first before he allegedly raped you?
The argument was about the fact that he had removed one girl from his house and put another girl in his house and didn't tell me. And he had asked me to break up with my husband at the time. We were just dating. So I was dating Shannon and my husband at the same time. Shannon asked me to break up with my husband. And I don't recall for sure, but I think I did. And so, you know, it's like, wait a minute, you want me to be with just you, but you want to move somebody into your house and not even tell me? So that's what it stemmed from. He's not a faithful person, so I wasn't going to be faithful to a non-faithful person.
Who was out here giving up that box to your husband and Shannon Sharpe? This story is getting more interesting as it goes along. Now, the point that really boggles me is that you thought you would get a faithful commitment out of somebody while you married? Isn't that narcissism? But nonetheless, she did say that because of this fight that they had is what led up to the incident that she's accusing him of. Now, that's not the only incident that she's accused him of, and that's why people are getting a little scared for Uncle Shay Shay.
Just doesn't work that way. Not for me anyway.
Can you tell us just broadly, I know it's probably painful to relive this situation, but can you tell us generally what happened that day? It
was fighting, and usually we fought on the phone and not in person. So it was the biggest argument that we ever got in. And he was controlling, he was domineering, he was manhandling me beforehand, and he wanted to have sex, and I told him no. I told him no, because you gave it to somebody else. I didn't only tell him no, I told him why. And he wouldn't take no for an answer. So he overpowered me, put me to my knees, put his penis in my mouth. And after he got enough of that, he put me on the bed. And, this was all a struggle. So I had said no. And I said no, even though I was thinking that. And so it was the hardest. Yeah, this is too hard.
I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Shay, say it ain't so you out here overpowering a white woman. Man, the thing that got me is like, how do you get this attention at the same time? In reality, we don't know if she's right. These are just her accusations, and they just sound real crazy right now.
I remember he got dressed, and he knew what he did. And so, I just kind of escorted him out the door. And then I wasn't going to do anything about it. Sometimes when you're with the person for a long time, it's hard for you to realize that they're being the perpetrator, even though you know it, you don't want to admit it. And there's so much going through your mind. But then he started coming at me. If I tell anybody, he'll use everybody he knows to destroy me, which he basically has. And then he started making other threats against my life, threats. He just was so worried that it would get out, and I wasn't going to do anything. But when he kept calling me at work, and when he kept, just very aggressively behaving, and I could see it wasn't going to go away, and he said he was going to destroy me, and he was going to kill me, and he told me he was watching me, and all that. I just went and got a protective order. I'd had enough. And unfortunately, shortly after, he doxed me, and my address got out. And I had somebody stop by my apartment, which had a door that led right to the side. It was basically on the sidewalk. And somebody came up to my door and said, "Shut up," and screamed it at the top of their lungs.
She tripping. I ain't never heard of Shannon Sharpe telling no woman to shut up.
I only heard from two teams. Guess what the two teams that called me, Ocho, say, what's your phone number? Where you going to be?
Who that?
Shut the fuck up. Next door.
Heard it out of his mouth. It was probably the neighbors or something like that. But without passing judgment, can Shannon Sharpe answer this one question? Why did she file a restraining order on you?
So after you rescinded the restraining order, was there any other weird stuff, or did it kind of just die down?
It died down. I tried to move on with my life. We may have talked, I think, once or twice. But then he started going on television. He came to my job, Turner Broadcasting, went on TV at CNN, and it was my job to put the videos from up to YouTube for CNN. That was part of my job. So I'm putting up this video, and here I see Shannon at my job talking about domestic violence, and the co-host mentioned that, "Oh, you had one that was just totally dropped," made it look like the police dropped it, not that I had gone down and withdrawn it. It created a picture that wasn't accurate. And that was a very hostile work environment.
I'm going to ask something that might be a little sensitive or might sound insensitive, I should say. But I'm going to go ahead and ask it because it's a question that I'm sure people are wondering. Why didn't you file a police report when he raped you?
Because I was scared for my life. He said he would use it. Everybody he knows.
So, Shay got herself in a whirlwind of problems right now. I need to know what y'all feel. This is very important. Do you believe the woman that was married, had a whole nother dude, want him to be faithful, okay? Do you believe the guy is actually accused of this a week ago? That's the question of the day. Who do you believe? Now, I don't want to sit there and try to prejudge her because I really don't know what happened. But I kind of want to go off of, and I don't want to prejudge him because we still don't know what happened. But I do know that this is a messy situation. Guys, if you got to this part of the video, you are the reason why I will be able to go viral. Make sure you guys subscribe and hit the top bell and press like on the video. And I'll see you on the next one. I'm out of here.